What's going on, guys? This is Bobby Douglas, and this is just part 2 of the Jared Butler full game breakdown. So let's get right into it. Again, he's going to be number 12 in the white, so right here. Had a pretty fun first half. He had a dunk. He hit a few threes. Some good defensive plays as well. Kind of showcased the entire arsenal for what, in my mind, makes him a top 20 guy, no doubt, and maybe even a lottery guy as things kind of wind down as we approach closer to draft day. Right now, we got a 3 in the key, it looks like, maybe. So we'll skip ahead here. Yeah. And so, again, we talked a lot about how in the first half, Jared Butler, the kind of just the importance of, not the importance of, but just kind of the philosophy behind what, in my mind, makes Jared Butler such a good prospect, right? And it's the whole philosophy that basically Jared Butler doesn't really need to add anything to his game. It's more about taking away the negative aspects of his game, right? Like being casual off of passes, right? Maybe right there we see kind of an errant alley-oop pass, even though I kind of like the look. But we talked about kind of how he doesn't really need to add anything to his game, right? He's a good shooter, good passer, good ball handler, great defender, right? Hustles, things like that. And it's more just about like, okay, just don't be so casual with the ball. Make sure like your passes have good pace, things like that. And to me, I think that's a lot easier to kind of manage than to, tell a guy like Jalen Johnson, like, hey, you got to start learning how to shoot better, right? I think that's a lot more of an arduous process than it is to tell Jared Butler, like, hey, throw some better passes, right? Stop being so careless with the ball. And so I think that kind of adds to Jared Butler's value. I want to see what happened here. I was kind of talking. Looks like we got another charge. Travel, never mind. But Jared Butler kind of forces that, so good job on him to force that. But so that's kind of like what my thinking is with Jared Butler right now. And again, he's going to be like, right now he's like 15th, I want to say, and then he could easily slide into that lottery. I'm kind of going back and forth with him and a few other guys for that last lottery spot. But right now he's right around that area for me. We see him on the ball right now. Let's see what they do. Not much going on in terms of an action for Butler. Oh, they may have had him in the corner right there. And again, obviously we talked about it too, just like the on and off ball, ability to kind of just shine right there. Kind of, late in the shot clock. Don't really blame him for kind of trying to force this shot up. Again, can't really shake Cade Cunningham. Good defense overall by Cunningham right there. Butler can't get that one to go, but Vital is, oh, wow, they called a shot clock violation there. But, not a big worry on that shot, I would say, for Butler. We can see him off the ball right here. And again, you got another foul. 0 points, 3 fouls for Flo Thamba. That is quite the stat line. So we got Butler sinking in help. Cunningham's going to try and get to the rim. That is such a good move by Cunningham. Holy shit. Sometimes you kind of just like forget, like you watch like guys like Jalen Green or Evan Mobley and you're just kind of like, is Cade really the number one guy in the class, right? And then you see plays like that, that right-handed floater out of a spin move towards the middle of the lane and you're just kind of like, oh yeah, that's why, Again, I have no second thoughts about putting Cade number one. But that's kind of like another discussion for another day. And I probably already had that discussion multiple times. So perhaps I should just kind of bury that one. But, obviously I feel like we've watched so many Oklahoma State games in the last like few weeks with like Cade Cunningham. And then I think a lot of Big 12 guys that I've done, they've played Oklahoma State. So it's just kind of funny to see kind of Cade Cunningham kind of pop up in so many of these big college games as we get a double dribble right here. So yeah, I don't know. Jared Butler pretty quiet to start off the second half. He had 10 points in the first. That is a ridiculous pass, and this is what I mean, where he can kind of play both point guard and shooting guard. This is unbelievable. The fact that this is no look, kind of just like a laser. Right? No look. That like he's not even. Is he looking at Davion right here? But how does he get this pass off? Just like, and sometimes this is what I said earlier, where he reminds me of Javier Baez from the Chicago Cubs, right? Where Baez can make these incredible plays that no other shortstop can really make in the game, right? And then he'll also have like some really frustrating errors and dumb decisions. this would be an example of Jared Butler just making like one of those, 1 in a million type plays. This pass, no look to Maceo Teague, right on the money, easy layup. That is special stuff right there. And again, great possession for Butler right there. We got Mark Vital kind of terrorizing Cunningham. Butler kind of slipped right there, kind of had to take 2 guys at once, but Oklahoma State missed that shot, and they'll reset. Let's see what Cunningham does here. He's going to try and bully, and another steal for Jared Butler. Again, taking advantage of a bad pass from Cunningham, but again, Butler, right place, right time. Again, has good active hands, plays well in the passing lane. He draws a foul right there, and is able to get that interception. I think his second of the game so far. He does have 3 steals in this game. He averaged, I think, 2 steals a game. I think we mentioned that in the first half, but I think he led the Big 12 in steals, but or if he didn't lead it, he was like number 2. So again, very underrated defender, just primarily because Davion Mitchell and Mark Vital were on his team, and so he kind of got the short end of the stick in terms of like defensive recognition, but very capable and willing defender. By all measures. And we see Butler just going to hand it off to Davion Mitchell. Later in the year, as Baylor kind of went into the postseason, they ran a lot more isolation basketball for their 3 guards of Teague, Mitchell, and Butler. And so you would see a lot of like these like short passes from the top of the key to the wing, and then it's kind of just like a clear out or maybe like a rub screen, and then it would ultimately just lead to like an isolation attempt. And Baylor's guards, obviously, all really good at scoring the basketball from a variety of angles and a variety of looks. And it obviously worked for them in the title game because they were pretty much all isolation, and they managed to win the national championship game quite handily, I may add. Right there, good tag from Butler. Again, just being smart without the basketball, right? And again, this is just simple stuff. He knows that this guy is open in the corner for a 3, but Butler's kind of try and commit, force this pressure. It's going to lead to a deflection. Oklahoma State ball, but again, that heads up. Defensive awareness, I think, is very, very appealing to a lot of NBA teams. Right there, we got a foul on the ground. Let's skip ahead here. Here's Butler showing a little bit on the ball. Again, good job. He has pretty good length, I would say, even though he's going to give up an and 1 right there. Pretty good length, I would say, just in general for being 6'3". Again, I mentioned in the first half video that he's not going to be the most versatile defender just because of that size, but somebody who definitely can guard somewhat bigger players in spots, but not somebody that you're going to really want to be switching like 1 through 4, right? He's not going to be one of these like Trey Murphy types where you can just kind of put him anywhere. But, in terms of just a guy who can offer very solid perimeter defense and very solid off-ball defense, I think Butler's your guy for that. We got a moving screen, it looks like, on Baylor. So it's going to be Oklahoma State ball here. And you can see Mitchell's going to draw the Cunningham assignment. And we got good finish from, I think that's a Boone brother. Yeah, I don't know who that is. In other news, though, as we see Butler kind of taking over the point guard spot for this possession. Again, really nice job. This is just simple stuff, right? So Butler's going to attack the ball screen. He's going to get this guy to kind of commit, right, and kind of stop Jared Butler's drive. And Butler, being the instinctual player he is, it's a simple pass to Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell, obviously, is going to find Matt Meyer for an easy layup. And it all starts because of Jared Butler's manipulation of this ball screen, right? So we'll watch it again. Okay, gets that guy to commit. Butler makes that pass to Mitchell. Mitchell to Meyer. Easy deuce, right? Just kind of like the smart basketball plays Butler will make a lot. Mitchell, really good deflection right there. And Butler's solid perimeter defense. We got Cade trying to do a lot. Let's see if he made that would have been insane. I got to watch Cade Cunningham's 40-point game against Oklahoma that he had earlier in the year. Just from an entertainment standpoint more than anything. That is, okay, thank goodness. That was one of the biggest flops I've seen in doing this. This is such a... Meyer didn't even touch him. Good effort, though. I respect the hustle from Cade. Oklahoma State in that zone that we see so often because we watch them seemingly every week. Butler, catch and shoot 3, bottoms. Again, just simple Mechanics are good, catch and shoot threes, balance, the beef strategy or whatever, like the balance, eyes, elbow, feet, all there with Butler, right? Smooth, easy release. Again, off the catch, on ball, off the ball, doesn't matter. Butler can get his shot off in a variety of ways, flexible release, and obviously you can't shoot 41% from three-point range and not have that sort of, all-encompassing release that we've been seeing, We see right there, Butler running the break. Is he going to get another dunk? Wow. 2 dunks for Jared Butler. I think that probably matches the amount he had in the rest of his college career, I want to say. I think he maybe had 4 dunks in his entire career or something like that. Something ridiculously low. But good for him getting out and running. Again, showing good awareness and finishing that fast break opportunity. And Cade's going to shoot that 3, hit it. That's just... God, Cade is so good, man. He is so good. Let's see, we're back into that zone for Oklahoma State. Let's see what Jared Butler does. He's going to get an inside ball screen from Chama Chachua, trying to freeze that. And again, this doesn't work here, but I do like his ability to kind of maneuver around ball screens, right? We're going to see him do some pretty crafty dribble moves right here. Credit number 20 for Oklahoma State. He stays in front of him pretty well. But I do think this could be a part of Jared Butler's game in the NBA, just that ability to kind of, work that defender in ball screens, get open looks for himself and for teammates. Right, you can see the hesitation, kind of gets this guy, spun around a little bit, but he can't really take advantage of that space because it's pretty clogged on that side. But I do think Jared Butler, in terms of like his overall deception with the ball in his hands, I think is probably one of the best in the class. And it was probably the best in the class last year as well, right? That was a big thing with him last year, just the ability to get guys off balance, right? The handle was really good. That was one of the main talking points with Butler. And remember, I had him as a first-round player last year, and this year, obviously, he should be a first-round pick, assuming his medical kind of checks out. I don't think I've talked about the medical thing with him, have I? So basically, for you guys who don't know, as we see him kind of in that low man position, so Butler had a heart thing. I think he had like a defibrillator put in during his high school career, right? And so he went to Alabama coming out of high school. But Alabama didn't clear him medically, and so the first summer when he was there, he decided to leave Alabama in hopes that he could go play somewhere else, right? He goes to Baylor, which was a top 3 school in his recruitment, I think, with Alabama, Baylor, and I think Virginia was the third one, right? And so he goes to Baylor right there. How does that, again, this is Jared Butler. I paused this story for an epic pass to Matt Meyer. Again, just look at how early he makes this pass, right? Meyer's going to go get it. How does he catch that pass, too? Just phenomenal stuff. Again, Jared Butler playing the 1 and the 2. He is America's next top combo guard. I hope that kind of landed well. I think that's kind of a good nickname for him. Maybe it sticks. I don't know. Maybe in 5 years I'll see Jared Butler, America's next top combo guard, kind of listed in a Basketball Reference nickname section. So fingers crossed for that. But anyway, going back to that story. So Butler, has a heart thing, right? Goes to Alabama. That's his first choice. Doesn't get cleared to play there, so he transfers in the middle of the summer session going into his freshman year, right? And so this is before that he ever played a game, right? Okay, so he goes to Baylor in part due to that. Let's see, I just want to make sure. So Butler's actually out for a little bit right here, so I'll skip ahead. I'm sorry, the story keeps getting interrupted. But let's see. Yeah, so he's in right here. I think he's in for the rest of the game. So basically, he goes to Baylor because Baylor kind of has a very good track record of working with guys with, heart issues. You look at Isaiah Austin. You look at King McClure, I think was another one. So they had experience working with guys that, maybe had some irregularities in terms of their heart. And so Butler goes there, is cleared to play, has no issue for 3 years at Baylor, right? So he plays fine. I don't think it ever really sparked up as an issue. Obviously, he didn't really affect him on the court. He was probably should have been a Big 12 Player of the Year this past season, Final Four MOP, right, whatever. Has all these accolades, great player at Baylor, whatever, right? Then he goes to the NBA Draft Combine a few weeks ago, as we see Jared Butler. If he's going to hit this shot, okay, no, but I love this shot. Okay, just rejecting the ball screen, right, going in between the legs. Just watch how fluid it is, right, into that dribble three-pointer. And again, that's a little bit of a forced shot, but, I do like that ability to kind of just, rise and fire. Jared Butler's going to try to jump that passing lane. Probably not. Probably the best thing he could have done there, as he's going to lead the break. Butler kicks it to Mitchell. Mitchell 3, got it. Simple play again. Those guards for Baylor were just so in sync. As we got score update right there. But so yeah, at the combine, right? So at the combine, it comes out that Jared Butler has not been cleared by like the NBA's health officials, right, to participate in any workouts or to participate in the combine, right? And he finds this out in Chicago when he's at the combine, right? And so now it's becoming so much more ambiguous to project where he's going to end up, right? And so if teams don't really like his medical, if they're too worried about taking him, he's probably going to slip late in the first round or early second round, right? If teams kind of do like his medicals, or at least they're not as concerned with them, then it becomes like, oh, can he get into the top 20? Can he maybe even sneak into the top 15? You don't know. But the problem is right now, I believe he's still on like the commissioner's exempt list or whatever it's called. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's like something like that where like basically he can't work out for any teams right now. And so, this is where a lot of guys are going to be going in to various cities to work out for a bunch of different teams before the draft, in hopes of maybe getting a promise in the first round, things like that. And Jared Butler can't do any of that, right? And so you add on the fact, it's kind of a two-sided coin. So on one side, obviously the heart concern is a thing, right? It's a health concern. And then if you add on top of that the result of that heart thing is that he can't work out and improve his draft stock among any of these teams, right? And so it's going to be very interesting to see where he ends up. Personally, now, I am not a doctor. I don't have a PhD, like whatever you want. I'm not a doctor. This is just like me, kind of just like thinking like, like, I don't know, just common sense brain, if you will. Jared Butler, it doesn't really seem like it was ever an issue at Baylor. He played there for 3 years. If it was ever an issue there, I don't really see why it should really be like, an issue in the NBA. Obviously, like, you're obviously hoping for the best and you're trying to protect the player, all that stuff. I get that. But for me personally, just in terms of like common sense, like, okay, so he was allowed to play in college for 3 years and now he can't play in the NBA. That just doesn't seem necessarily fair to me. But again, I'm not a doctor, so what do I know? But again, so it's just a very interesting situation. I'd probably be remiss to not bring that up in the Jared Butler video because that is a major concern with him, just in terms of like where he's going to get drafted. Will he be able to get cleared for the NBA? And so obviously it was a thing that followed him, that's been following him for the last 4 or 5 years. And so we'll see. I'm obviously, hoping for the best with it because I think he's a damn good player. But we'll see what ends up happening. If it means, God, I'm going to sound like a jerk saying this, but like, if it means that like maybe he falls to the Bulls at 38 and we happen to just, take a chance, then, I think Chicago would be a great spot for Jared. Probably one of the better fits in the NBA for him. So, everything happens for a reason. No, I'm obviously, hoping he goes in the first round, gets that guaranteed money. But, if he falls to 38, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know. And again, I'm going to sound like a jerk for saying that. But, it's because I really like Jared Butler as a player, right? And so, yeah. But I think, even with the heart thing, I'm still, like, considering him for the lottery as he leads the fast break right here. Good dump off to Maceo Teague, and he's going to get that Euro step finish. But, yeah, so that's kind of like the wrap on Jared Butler right now. And it kind of sucks because, like, from a character standpoint, from everything else, everything off the court you hear about him is great. The intel is all good. Good tag by Mark Vital right there. And Baylor's off to the races again. Butler, catch and shoot 3. Bang. Too easy. Again, just an off-ball sniper, can play on the ball. We've seen the alley-oop passes. We've seen the no-look passes. Just everything you want to do, Jared Butler can do. So, yeah, but it just kind of sucks that he has this heart thing because it's like, he's definitely a guy with, like, the interviews and all that stuff. Like, he could easily rise in this process, And so we'll see where he ends up. But definitely one of the more interesting players to follow on draft night. Right there, a little bit too small for the Boone brother. Just happens, again, not the most versatile guy. That's Caleb Boone. But, that's going to happen, 6'10 versus 6'3. And we will see Jared right here. Let's see what they get. Let's see what they do. It looks like Oklahoma State, again, is in that zone. They're going to get that ball screen with Chamba Chachua. Butler's going to reject it. Loses the ball. Almost lost the ball. Gets it out to Davion. Davion to Teague. 7 on the shot clock. This should be going up. Nope. Yes. No. I don't even know. No. Okay. And they get an offensive rebound. Jared Butler. Oh, I thought he was going to shoot that. Good kick out to Teague, or to Mitchell, excuse me. And then they're going to slow it down and see if they can get anything going towards the basket. Again, the ball screen with Chamba Chachua. Butler. Looks like we got an offensive foul. Looks like on Jared. I'm not sure about that one. One of the things about Jared, too, was just he and Jonathan Chamba Chachua had an awesome connection in terms of pick and roll, right? Just being able to kind of just, find him on the lobs, and then, Chamba Chachua would screen and re-screen, giving Butler a lot more space to shoot. You can see Butler battling right there against the bigger Boone brother. But again, not much he can really do, and that's why, anything you say about him defensively, it could all be really good. But the fact is that he's not going to be like a super versatile guy that can guard a lot of positions, right? We had the same conversation when we did the Davion Mitchell video, right? Just that, he's an awesome point of attack defender, but can he guard anyone past 6'4", right? You don't know. And so that's just something to monitor as well. With Jared, obviously in the college game, it didn't really hurt them a whole lot. But we're going to see Butler right here. Again, trying to break someone down off the dribble. Again, very crafty, very patient for the most part. And again, that's just a really nice float move. Again, very good at those intermediate floaters. Kind of like what we see with Emmanuel Quickley, although not to the range of Emmanuel Quickley, right? Like Quickley could float from one step inside the 3-point line. But Jared Butler does have that really good intermediate touch, as we're going to see right here. Again, very patient. And then when he's not being casual, right, he's actually a very just kind of overall deceptive, patient, composed guard. And that's one thing, too, is that you don't really speed him up very often. If anything, he needs to be sped up a little bit more, right? And so it is kind of funny to see just kind of how some guards kind of struggle with the increased pace of the game, and then others like Jared Butler maybe need to have a little bit more urgency at times, right? And so a lot of different prospects, a lot of different weaknesses and strengths as we see Jared Butler right here bringing the ball up the floor as we approach the 2-minute mark in a very close game, actually, between these two teams. So we'll see what we got here. Again, ball screen with Chamba Chachua. He's going to slip that. Oklahoma State's hedging in, and I think we're going to go to the line for free throws. I think Jared Butler has 20 right now, and these should be 21 and 22. Yeah, this will be 21 and 22. Surprisingly, not a great free throw shooter considering how good of a shooter he is. Only 78% from the line. Obviously, I'm not concerned about that, but just kind of something to note, I would say. But when you're shooting 42% from three, 78% from the line doesn't seem as damning. And so he makes both comfortably right there. And Baylor has a 6-point lead with 2 minutes dose to go. So again, they're going to try and put Cade Cunningham, give him a ball screen, and now it's Jared Butler on Cunningham. Did a decent job. Mitchell, great activity. Matt Meyer gets that ball. Great defensive play from just the entire Baylor team right there. And again, when I am old, right, when I'm 50 or 60 years old, right, maybe I have kids and maybe I'm, I have a wife, whatever. If I don't, though, and if I'm just kind of a loner, right, I will go on YouTube and I will watch 2021 Baylor Bears basketball. And that will bring me immense joy in my remaining days, I think. This team was just so much fun to watch. Again, one of my favorite teams ever. Yeah. Got Mitchell shooting free throws. Looks like we got... Yeah, here we go. So again, you see Cade Cunningham kind of went bananas in the second half. He has 24 for the game. Butler's going to finish with 22. Mark Vital, great defense. Davion. Kind of let his man slip there for a second. Rare mistake. Final minute here. Oklahoma State should be fouling. That's going to be 10. Nope. Barely just got a good pass. Hockey assist. Should have been a hockey assist for Jared Butler. But again, good job just kind of noticing the shot clock is about to hit 20 seconds. Obviously, that would be a violation. And then just kind of putting enough touch and loft on that pass to get it to Vital. And then obviously to Matt Meyer for easy free throws that he makes both. You got a foul here. Skip ahead. Oklahoma State's not in the bonus. He had another foul here, and now they're in the bonus. I think this is where... Did Cade have like an ankle injury? Yeah. Obviously didn't affect him, but... 33 seconds left. Baylor's going to run the football play. Just get it into Maceo Teague. Let him dribble out the clock a little bit. Fouls. We got free throws here. And again, you can see kind of just, this should wrap it up. Adam Flagler's going to get that rebound. Maceo Teague. They're going to throw it ahead. Is Vital going to slam it? He's going to slam it. Oh, let's go. Oh, Mark Vital. Come on, man. Come on, Mark Vital. The 360 layup. What a finish to this ball game. Again, we'll run out the clock here. They're going to miss that shot. Mitchell's going to grab the board, and that will do it, my friends. I'll pause the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Again, Jared Butler, I am probably much higher on than the consensus, and I hope you guys kind of saw why in these series of videos. But yeah, overall, hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thanks for your continued support. It means a lot. And yeah, we will see you tomorrow, I think. I'm not sure who I'm going to do yet. I got to figure that out. It's like 12:30 a.m. right now in suburban Chicago. So I got to figure that out tomorrow. But yeah, expect a video, obviously, as we approach draft day. So thanks so much. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.